this comment you have about fascism, it's not just a piece of rhetoric, as it were, or an assertion. When I was doing my research on civil disobedience at King's College, I was talking to another researcher who researched like the working class miners who went to fight against fascism in the Spanish Civil War. And, the main result of his research was, again, that people didn't go to Spain in order to beat fascism. They went to Spain because it had to be done. That was the phrase. Something had to be done, and they had to do something about it. And I think, for me, this is the central theme of what actually we have to do, which is to do things because they have to be done. If you go down to London and sit in the road, obviously you want to get negotiations with the government and get change on climate change and what have you. But the fundamental reason why you're sitting in the road is because it has to be done. Simple as that, and paradoxically, my research and experience shows that the more people who don't care about whether they win or not, the more likely you are to win because you're not so vulnerable to the outcome. I mean, it's one of those weird headfuck sort of things, because you just go around in circles. But it's certainly true, and it's true in my experience of doing, various sorts of social movement work for several decades, is the people that are sustainable are doing it because it's something they have to do, because it's the right thing to do. And that's what sustains you over the long term, as you've said, Chris. So, it's a major lesson, I guess.
I would also add that it gives you power, because people know you can't be bought off. People know that you're not going to be dissuaded through an argument about why this doesn't make sense, and maybe you should go talk to the Democratic leadership. It gives you a kind of power because they know that you're unwavering. So I would agree totally. It's kind of paradoxical that your power comes from the point where you don't really care whether it succeeds or not. That's where your power comes from.
Yeah. And there's a good quote I found recently from Larry Kramer, who is one of the key activists in the ACT UP campaigns around AIDS. And I think I've got this right. It said something along the lines of, we didn't give a flying fuck what people thought of us, and that's what gave us our strength. And that's a really interesting point of view. You didn't really beat around the bush, that guy. But
that's exactly right. I remember I was very critical of the Black Bloc and Antifa during Occupy, and I spent a lot of time in Zuccotti, and some of the Occupy activists who weren't Black Bloc said, well, it's hurt the movement, and, everybody admired you, and now they don't. And I said, the moment I need your adulation, I'm finished. It doesn't matter what you think of me. It doesn't make any difference. My job, at least insofar as I can do it, is to speak the truth, even if it's an unpopular truth. I'm not running for anything. I'm not a politician. I'm not trying to be popular. I don't care whether I'm popular or not. And I think that quote from Kramer is exactly right. As soon as you give a fuck about what people think, actually, Dwight MacDonald, a great social theorist, wrote a essay called Mass Cult, Mid-Cult, which is very good. And it's about the danger of intellectuals appealing to mass culture, and thinking that their influence is determined by the numbers of people that are able to reach, going on MSNBC or something, which didn't exist when he wrote it. But that's right. That's not actually their power. So yeah, that's we, or those of us who, certainly as a writer, who attempt to explain reality, as soon as we get caught up in what the potential reaction might be, or what the reaction is, then we lose whatever power we have, I think.